together again for the first time. We've only met in a dream.
You still have Young Frankenstein on the
I
brain.
do, I do.
We talked about that on Friday.
I know. It's fitting.
I like it.
Hi.
Hi, Krisha.
Look at you in your blue.
Thank
I like
you.
that shirt. Is it new?
It is.
I like it.
They were marked down. Well, I don't want to give away any Christmas shopping secrets or anything, but they were marked down at the club.
Mm-hmm. The club.
Remember, I had purchased, and we did this on the show, where I had purchased a new shirt to wear here on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I went back, and those same shirts were marked down to half price.
Ooh.
So the one that I wore on Friday and the one that I'm wearing today, I got at a discount.
Look at that.
And I have another one in the copper that I'm waiting for the day we do the episode with the fireplace and chimney folks.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait.
It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be really exciting. Santa might come. I heard a rumor.
And I'm drinking out of my Bone Zones tumbler, which
Yeah, look.
you can see is frosty like a morgue.
I got it hiding down here. I drink room temperature water, so...
Well, I was drinking room temperature water, but I was just, apparently I've had the hot flashes lately. I can't...
Let's not. Just don't. I love these mugs, though.
Yeah, you buy these. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but these are things you can buy at bonezones.com.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to watch us on the YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need to get to 1,000 so we can monetize the channel and not have to get real jobs.
And thank you to all of you who have subscribed and shared and gotten friends to subscribe and all that stuff.
And we want you to listen to or also subscribe and give us a high rating if you like the show on the audio version. I think Dave Fennell's been listening to us on either probably Google Podcasts or one of those apps, so you can give us 5 stars or 1 star, whatever you think is appropriate.
Whatever.
And comment and get in touch with us on social media. And thank you, by the way, Tanya Cinnamon, we talked about last week.
She's so great.
Had sent us a little bit of money to buy buttermilk and cornbread.
Yes.
And thank you, by the way, for not taking the cornbread with you that day.
Yeah?
Because for the rest of the week, my wife and I finished off that cornbread and we fried it.
Ooh.
We put butter in the pan and fried the cornbread, and oh my heavens.
Oh my heavens.
We're going to have to buy some more of it for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And bring it with us up to the D.C. area.
Thanksgiving is coming so soon.
Assuming we're allowed to go to the D.C. area and all this.
Yeah. Ooh.
Well, I'm friends with a guy who you may have heard of from when he was on the radio, Jay Fox, the Fox That Rocks.
Jay Fox, the Fox That Rocks.
And he is, in addition to being a radio DJ, he is the #1 wedding DJ in Dallas, Texas.
Well, I'll be darned.
Did you know
Be
that?
Careful, Fox That Rocks. Texas has over 1 million cases right now.
Well, good point. But
Yeah, stay
Texas
home.
is much more spread out.
It is.
So, 1 million people in Texas is not the same
as 1 million people here.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyway. But I would like to point out, here's a card that he sent us.
Don't stop till you get to the top. And
he sent us a little cashola or money, or whatever you call it, a check, whatever you want to call it. He sent us a contribution for equipment because we've been talking about getting a better camera.
Jay Fox, the Fox That Rocks, you rock!
And getting a better microphone and a better there's really basically 3 things we have to buy: is a camera, we want to get 2 microphones, and then a mixing board.
Yeah.
So those things, cost money, and that's why we have great sponsors like Bone Zones. We've got people like Tanya and now Jay Fox from Jay Fox Productions in Dallas, Texas, helping us get to the top.
That makes my heart happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's talking about, he was born in Tennessee, but he hasn't been here since he was a little kid.
Oh, okay.
And he said he might come visit his birth state this year. So if you get here before I'm going to put you on the line, Krisha. Jay Fox, if you and your wife can get here before New Year's Eve, Krisha will comp you into Sweet Fanny Adams in Gatlinburg.
Yeah. New Year's Eve is our final show. Theater closes. It's over.
Artist comps from Miss Krish.
Yeah, it's done. And, you never know. I may be in another show come January.
You auditioned.
I did.
Did it go well? Am I allowed to ask?
Okay. I went to an audition that I found out about the day before, and I only went as moral support for somebody else. I said
that happens a lot, though, in acting.
It does. I said, I will go with you because I know that I went with a friend who was nervous about it and wanted to go. I'm like, I'll go with you. I'll audition too, just so, you have some moral support. And it's not like you can go in and audition together, but just the act of somebody else doing it with you.
There are so many stories, though, in show business of the person who got the part was the one who came along for moral support, and the one who was the original auditionee didn't.
Right, and
But this is not a situation where you went with a guy, right?
Right.
So you're not going for the same part. The stories I've heard is when two girlfriends go together, and then the moral support beats out her best friend for the part.
Well, it's funny because my friend Carolyn Corley and she's an actress in town, and she's good, phenomenal. Yeah. We often are up for the same parts. We're both very different actresses, but we fit the same range of parts.
When they're looking for a woman of a certain height, weight, age, ethnicity, because that's the character is written that way.
Or type, because we're both very strong women performers.
Okay.
And we tend to be up for the same parts. And we actually became friends because we, as actresses, sat down together, went and had a drink, because we knew we were both auditioning for the same part, and we went and had a drink, and we aired it out, and we spoke very honestly and frankly with each other, and talked about...
One of us is going to get this part, and the other one isn't.
One of us, and there should not be animosity. We can acknowledge that, oh man, I'm going to take a couple days, because if you get cast, I'm going to take a couple days, because it's still going to sting. Because it stings. It doesn't matter how many times you've auditioned. One, auditions suck no matter how many times.
Everybody but the one gets rejected.
And two...
For each part.
We're going to take a little time. I'll probably need a couple days if I don't get cast. But also, please know, I love you. I'm happy for you.
And I support you.
And I support you. And we became really close friends because of that. And she's somebody who I love to work with and would love to be able to do a show with. I don't know, maybe have a show that you don't just cast one strong woman.
You might have to write that show. You
might have to.
I mean, if you think about it, a lot of you guys could do Young Frankenstein. One could be Inga, and one could be...
We're both too old for that. We're on the decline.
Yeah.
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 That's my new hand signal for decline. So if you see me do this, it means I'm
Carolyn
on decline.
is one of those people who, the more you know about her, the more different things she's got.
She's insane.
And that's the thing about,
And I mean that in a great way.
No, I mean, when I've gotten to know you fairly well, and it always surprises me that there's still things, like we talked about a few weeks ago, that you had worked in radio back in Florida, and I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. That you had worked, your first radio job was before I moved here.
At WIMZ.
When you were running the board overnights. And you had told me that probably 15 years ago. So as I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh, wow, but so much has happened.
Yeah.
So you've got a deep well of...
I've done a lot of stuff, man.
And so have I.
Yeah.
As a parent, because I'm constantly reminded of stupid things that I didn't even know I was going to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. My kids are almost grown, I mean, I say almost. They're 16 and 13. But I'm now for the first time, I passed Hannah, my child, driving down Chapman Highway the other day. I was pulling out of a gas station, and
unexpectedly.
I had no idea. And she was going ice skating with friends. And I see her with a car full of friends. I'm like, oh, that's my baby.
Drive carefully,
child.
Hannah.
Yeah, please, sweet girl. And she's a good driver, but she's a new driver, and I'm realizing that I'm aging out of parenting in the truest sense, what you're supposed to do, teach them to be independent, and they move on with their lives, and then you're left.
That's been my parent. My kids watch the podcast because, as you know, they are grown. Mm-hmm. My daughter has children of her own. My son is... I don't know how much time is left on the PhD, another year and a half or so. But my parenting style was, hey, I will be dead. You need to figure it out on your own, which is unfortunate in a way. But
it's true.
But my parenting style was more of the push them out of the nest style.
Right.
But they have, in hindsight, thanked us, Jerry and me, for that, because they are both better people than I am.
Which is great.
No, I mean, seriously, they have it more together. They have their finances together better than I do. They have their careers better together than I do. All the things. And maybe it was me saying, hey, I'm going to give you the advice that my dad gave me, and I ignored. Don't go into broadcasting.
Well, and it's funny because when my kids are kind of the only family that I have that I still talk to, that I still communicate with, and that I have. And when you think about what you want for your kids and what you want for their life. Like, I want both of my children to go to college. I think they're brilliant, and I want them to have an education, but also I'm not going to abandon them or judge them differently if they decide that they want to do this gypsy crazy lifestyle, because
Well, there's a lot of right now. It's very trendy, if you will, to also look at the traditional trades. Because I mean, Mike Rowe talks about this and others, that if you wanted to be a welder, I don't think I could be a welder, but let's just say that's the one they use as the example because it's a little bit out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to. Very few people are actual welders, but they make like six figures.
right.
So if you found something, oh God bless you. Is it time for another COVID test?
No, no, I got another week.
Well, we're out here in allergy land. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. We got not only do we have some dampness, but you've got the fall foliage.
Yeah.
But the point is that if you were interested in doing a traditional skill, and whether it be like the guys who are going to come and clean the fireplace and have grown that business into a very
Right.
successful thing, or whether you're into you're an arborist and you're going to cut down trees, or whatever it is you think of, it doesn't require a college degree. Right now, that's where the money is.
Oh, yeah.
Because the pendulum, there was a time when everybody did that, so the college graduates, and this would be mostly in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, the college graduates were the ones making the big bucks. Well, now that market is oversaturated.
Yeah, because everybody's going educated.
There are far too many people whose major ends in the word studies, and they can't get a job because
Yeah.
it's oversaturated. There aren't that many jobs for people who studied studying. You know, and the very limited market of that. Basically, you can work as a professor, and that's it.
Right.
So there's a gap on the other side for carpenters and plumbers and builders
Electricians and yeah.
And you have to be super smart to be an electrician, or you're dead. Those are the two choices.
Or like my uncle, just crazy. My uncle was super smart and super crazy, and
Yeah.
he shocked himself. I mean, if you're an electrician, you know you're going to shock yourself more than.
Well, think about the guys who fix my car. They now have to be computer savvy because my car is a driving computer.
Mine's not.
Well, you know what? The time was it that I was driving around with you someday. One of those days was the day that my Apple CarPlay just crashed.
I was like, I'm done here. Yeah.
Did I tell you what happened?
No.
I tried to restart, figure it out on my own. Could not. And then I ended up calling Honda. And sorry, Honda, I didn't. Anyway, I ended up calling them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, here's what you got to do. You've got to uninstall this, and you've got to turn off the car, and you've got to exit this, and you've got to push this into a hard reboot of the car."
That's so ridiculous.
So I did not because it wasn't a hard reboot, a soft reboot, by holding in the button until the computer in the car cycles through, and then I had to go on my app and forget that I owned that car, and then reinstall it. But once I did, it was like snappity, everything was all right.
I have a friend who was coming back from a trip recently, coming out of Asheville, and was doing 75 in the fast lane, passing a truck, when completely lost all power. Car completely shut off. Whole car. And they coasted to a stop, and he lost power steering and pulls over the side of the road. Turns out his car has a safety feature that if you don't click the gas cap back on,
Yeah, you have to go turn it until it goes click.
it shuts your emissions. It messes up the emissions and
my
shuts the
heavens.
car off. And
That's
they
really
could have
bad.
dang died because
That's
the
terrible.
computer system was like, oh, because what should have happened is the car shouldn't have started at the gas station when it wasn't clickety-clicked. But that malfunction,
Ouch.
yeah, forget that.
Well, we
Nice
do need,
cup, buddy.
You can put yours up here, too,
Okay, cool.
actually. And we're going to do a mention our friends at bonezones.com.
Look at how cute this is. Look at that.
In fact, go ahead and tap the focus on that to the trees again, if you don't mind. Or after you pull the cup away.
Look at that.
Because we're doing our YouTube channel, for those of you listening. There we go. We'll do the second half of the episode this way. So I saw Susan, who runs bonezones.com.
Yeah.
And she said, use these tumblers on the show, because these are the ones that we sell.
Is that a tote?
And I also got this tote.
Look at how cute that is.
Now, this was from the last gig that I recall doing with Dr. Bass was on Valentine's night.
Yeah.
So we had these.
It's got the...
It's got the names of the bones,
Look
the
it.
correct names of the bones.
That makes me happy.
So where it says, it says femur, we're on the femur, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
And this is from the gig we had on Valentine's night with Sam Venable at Cherokee
was
Cabins.
that the last
Yeah.
event?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we might have had, I think we had Rose Glen Literary Festival the week after that, but
Yeah.
basically this is one of the last events
Can
that
you
we've
still
had.
get these at bonezones.com? Don't forget the S.
Well, you can ask. I mean,
Yeah?
I suppose, because I know they're not listed on the
Merch
on the
sites.
menu, but send them an email. The email and the contact information is on
I
there.
love me a good tote.
But that's for you.
Oh, is it for
And-
me?
Yeah. What do
Are
you
you
think? I was
serious?
just going to taunt you with it?
No, I'm just excited because I love
why
a
was
good
I?
tote.
You didn't figure out why I was hiding it behind me the whole time?
No, because I donate to NPR when they have totes. I don't donate when you get the other crap, but I donate when they have totes because
All
I
right,
love
well,
a tote.
I
See my
expected it-
tote over there?
We'll expect a donation to the Krisha Frank show now.
Okay, I got
right.
you.
So anyway, that's for you. That's really just for you because we're doing the ads. But the other thing that is just for you who are watching and listening to the ads, if you are a Krisha and Frank viewer or listener, we have a special offer for early Christmas shopping at bonezones.com.
Sweet.
We talk about all of the great Jefferson Bass books and also I keep saying the two nonfiction books, but Susan reminded me, there's also a short book. It's a little paperback, and it's not very expensive at all. It's autographed by Dr. Bass, and it's called, I think it's called Mistaken Identity, if I remember correctly, but it's the case of Leoma Patterson.
Ooh.
And she's the lady up in Campbell County, and it's a wonderfully fascinating story where they found this skull and they assumed it was her, and then her family challenged it and said it's not her.
Oh, wow.
The DNA they couldn't prove it with DNA.
I
Because-
need this. I need this tiny
Because
little
the medical
book.
examiner had bleached the bones.
Ah.
So the DNA was useless, so they had to go back in time, in effect. And Dr. Bass, using his forensic anthropology, was able to solve the case conclusively.
That's so cool. That's so
and
cool.
they did finally get some DNA to back everybody up, but Dr. Bass was able to solve it.
So we have a special offer.
Free shipping. Free shipping, but you have to mention when you place your order that you heard about this on the Krisha and Frank show, and Susan will give you free shipping. This is for early Christmas orders, so basically it's probably
Like
going
order
to
now.
cut off sometime in December. She'll give us the date. We'll mention it in the commercials until it cuts off. So if you're watching this way in the future, well, what
Sorry.
can I do? But for the end of
Hope you had a good Christmas.
yeah, for November, for at least for a month, for mid-November to mid-December of 2020, you get free shipping at bonezones.com
Don't forget the S.
on awesome merchandise
Yay!
with Dr.
Oh,
Bass.
that's cool. Holy moly. What a day. What a day.
What happened?
It's so... You and I've talked about seasons.
Oh my, tomorrow's guest is here early.
That's crazy.
They're going to have to wait till tomorrow.
We should go.
Well, okay.
We
Wanna
can
just
go.
wrap?
We've got 20. We're almost 20 minutes in.
Yeah, we're 18.
Yeah.
All right, hang on.
Coming.
You can come around the back. No, Jerry the Brave has got it.
No, you and I have talked about a lot that you and I have talked a lot about the seasons, and you were just mentioning like the fall foliage and all this.
Yeah.
I love a good rain, so I'm currently feeling oh man, and it's so rainy and all of that stuff. Jerry the Brave is
Hand signaling.
I don't know what does this mean, Frank?
That I'm eyebrow bald.
Eyebrow bald.
Is it my eyebrows that look bad? Do my eyebrows look bad?
But we
Oh, it's in the other room. I just remembered what it is.
Yeah.
It's the Bone Zone's temperature gun.
Oh.
It actually belongs to Bone Zones. It's the infrared thermometer.
Because we have guests, and so we're trying to make sure that we're all safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we have to wrap because at this
We
point
do. We
we
do.
need to talk about this topic.
What?
In a future episode.
Yes,
We'll put that on hold.
While
we'll
we're
make a note.
here, just go Google the word sonder. Do some homework for a future
How would you
episode.
spell like Saunter?
Sonder. Sonder.
Sonder.
Yeah. That's your homework.
And not
if you
saunter like Saunter.
Sonder. Sonder.
All right, we'll put it on the bottom as today's word of the day.
It's word of the day, and we will discuss this in a future episode, and we'll also discuss some rainy day chill.
Rainy day chill.
Rainy day chill.
You could write a song about that.
I may have.
It's time for the rainy day chill. The rainy day chill. And no. Thanks for subscribing on YouTube. Thanks for listening on all of the audio podcast apps. Don't forget, with audible.com, you can get a free trial.
Yeah.
Mention Krisha and Frank there by going to the link
audibletrial.com/Krisha and Frank.
Get your free 30-day trial and an audiobook that you get to keep forever, and then they start billing you after 30 days.
You guys,
I
gotta go. Santa's here.
All right, he's here tomorrow.
No, he's here now.
No, he's coming tomorrow.
But he's here.
He's not here today.
But he's here.
It'll be tomorrow.
But he's here.
But it might even be Wednesday. Depends how long it takes me to edit.
Santa's here.
You know the subscribe button's going to be right over your face.
Do it.
I mean, I can put it...
You.
Where else am I going to put it? Over my face? I've got two things I got to fit on the screen. I got the upcoming episode, which would fit right nicely on my chest. And that subscribe button's going to go right on your nose.
Bing. Boop it. Boop that button. Boop it.